ever been in love, the alchemical things that go on when you have making love, when you're in love, is a whole nother realm than when you're not. It's a whole nother realm. You know what I'm saying? So, this is the Uros Buros, the snake biting his tail. And that's why you would see the penis and the vagina all over India. And the penis all over Kemet. All over Kemet. But the penis will always be in front of a temple. The temple is the woman. The obelisk. You see. So they already know that the ancients gave us the secret to all of this through not only just sex, but through the male and female principles of Isis and Osiris, Shiva and Parvati, Solomon and Sheba, and on, that the sex and the love thing is the mystery to breaking this shit. You see what I'm saying? To breaking this. It's very key on how this particular thing goes. Shakti, the Kundalini feminine power, which is very interesting here, because the Kundalini energy is both in male and female, is the feminine power. So, one way to keep us down, even in the conscious community, which I'm so glad that all of your religions and cult leaders and shit have passed now, whereas they would tell you that one would be superior over the other. Male would be superior over the female. What they don't want you to know is the great mystery of the sexual energy that is inside of us, which is the Kundalini energy, is a feminine energy. So one mystery of breaking this down, going into this, is to understand that you are nothing but two of the same halves, twin souls meeting. And there's no such thing as you being inferior than the other when you both were way before the physical aspect. But ultimately, it's one energy, which is the feminine energy. So in so many words, the black man is the only one who has the complete aspect of the Kundalini energy in him that works totally from the sacral vertebrae, the root chakra, all the way up to the pineal gland. He is the only person, like his woman, that has the complete aspect that he's both male and female, just like his woman is both male and female. That's why Horus is called a double-wanded one, which means both male and female. You know, entity that rose up Labrador, I've been talking about for years. A lot of motifs on this great dragon is male. A lot of the motifs on the great dragon is female. But ultimately, it's this feminine energy. This feminine energy. Now, Shiva in the mythology burns up karma. Not karma, but karma. Karma is sexual desire. It's desire for that particular human being, period. But karma, like anything down here, can wax and wane. It goes with one of the questions we were just talking about. It can wax and wane, ebb and flow. If you don't preserve it, or if you don't deal with the science of preserving this karma, it will burn up. And so Shiva, in one of his aspects, burns up karma, which is desire, which is eros, which is also love. But then Parvati restores it back on down the line. So in so many words, when I was talking about how my experience was, I went through a certain love that opened up my heart chakra, and I experienced my soul. Then the energy burned up. It burned up in a couple of minutes. I sat in the chair one day, and it burned up. And now the energy is back, restored, the desire, the love, and all of that. But it had to burn up at first so I can go through several aspects of the goddess to come back in the complete aspect of the goddess, I went through 12 Mahabodhiyas to get all of those Mahabodhiyas in one of the 13th goddesses, which will be one that will be eternal. So this is the way energy goes. So going back to relationships, we must also know that excessive, too much of anything could also mean that in actuality you might deplete it. And so you must play games with this in the particular aspect of, like I said, don't stay in the same room all the time for those particular ones that's married. Or, or preserve it. There's several ways you can do this. There's several ways you can also do this. And, but just keep in mind that sometimes when it burns up, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're out of love. It just means that it's taken another position. It's gone to another level, or it's gone dormant for a while. But according to the mythology, it can be restored, either through another person or through the same person. Depends on whether that person was supposed to be a person that you were supposed to learn something from and then move on, or was it supposed to be a person that you're supposed to just go through a period of cooling out. As a matter of fact, one of the books that deal with this is this book, Shiva the Erotic Ascetic, by Wendy O'Flaherty. O''Flaherty. Wendy O'Flaherty. Shiva the Erotic Ascetic. And in this particular book, they talk about the burning of the karma. They talk about all the Pravati, the mountaintop. They also talk about how Pravati and Shiva get in these arguments. And they get in a knockdown, drag-out fight. And then they get into reconciliation. And they were saying that these fights are good sometimes because it keeps the karma from burning up. So this is the way they separate sometimes. To preserve that love, sometimes you got to break away. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes some of our people don't know that sometimes when they get into these particular spats, it's not that the love is gone. It's just that this thing has to happen for that love to exist. Well, you say, well, how about people who stay together all the time? Those people are not necessarily functioning on the highest level because they become dead. They become like drone dead zombies. You see what I'm saying? But to preserve the true love, sometimes it takes separation. You see what I'm saying? Separation. To preserve the true love. And this is how this thing goes. Now, even orgasm is an expression of the soul. When you have an orgasm based on Thomas More's book, The Soul of Sex. An orgasm is a land shared between two goddesses, mother and daughter, Demeter and Persephone. When they done the aspect of the when they trace this thing back, or where they get these terminologies, at least in the Greek terminology. The good part about this is, what this means here is, whenever you have an orgasm, for that split second, you are feeling something that is in a world that is beyond your own, that is a normal feeling in that particular world. But you only get a glimpse of it, because we are now entrapped in slavery. So an orgasm is this solar phallic energy. It's the sun. It's the soul. And it's almost like a trapdoor flings open, the light of the soul shines in and it shuts. But when this thing flings open again, and the whole world has an orgasm, and it stays open, it will destroy this world. Can you imagine, for that split second you have the orgasm, if the orgasm came on and never went away? You would